grapes and vines. In the last subject, we learned all about what flavor is and how our bodies experience it. The next step in our journey into wine is to start learning where these different flavors come from. With wine, there is only one place to start: the grape. In this subject, we are going to start learning about the main ingredients of all wines, the grape, and what is inside each and every one. In this lesson, we are going to start by understanding what grape varieties are and how they are classified. The world is a rather big place, and it is very full of life. To make understanding all the millions of living organisms on Earth easier, scientists have grouped things together depending on their similarities. They started by dividing everything on Earth into two big categories: living and non-living things. Humans, ants, and trees are all living things, and rocks, water, and gases are all examples of non-living things. Where do you think grapevine fits in? They are, of course, living things. From there, scientists place living things into smaller and smaller groups. The biggest group is a kingdom, then a division, then a class, an order, a family, a genus, and finally, a species. We don't need to go into all the scientific details as to why a grapevine is classified one way or another, so let's skip down to the genus. All vines that produce grapes are found in the genus called Vitis. All the plants in the Vitis genus are vines that use tendrils, little plant arms to climb, and they all produce grapes. Wine fact. The word vitis is from the Latin word for vine. It is why the technical term for growing grapevines is viticulture. The next step down in this classification is the species. A species is a group of similar organisms within a genus. There are around 60 different species of vitis, or grapevines, all with their own unique characteristics. And out of these different species, only one concerns us: the species Vitis vinifera. Nearly all the wines in the world are made from this species, Vitis vinifera. Every bottle of wine in your establishment has come from grapes grown on vines that are part of the Vitis vinifera species. The similarities of the species are very important. Their grapes are the sweetest and most delicious of any vines, and as we are going to learn, perfect for making wine. But it doesn't end there, because within the Vitis vinifera species, the vines there produce different types of grapes. You already know this, as some grapes are red and some are white. This is because within the species of Vitis vinifera, there are many types of varieties. Have you heard of any of these before? Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Cabernet Sauvignon. These are all varieties of the Vitis vinifera vine. While they share the delicious qualities that make them perfect for winemaking, they also have their own characteristics. These characteristics are the flavors they give to the wine made from them. Luckily for us, thousands of years ago, when people found these Vitis vinifera vines growing in the wild and tasted their grapes, they found them so delicious that they started planting them. They planted them over and over and over again, so that now we have many different types of Vitis vinifera vines, perfect for winemaking. The grapes and the wine made from these vines use the same name. So a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon is made from grapes grown from Cabernet Sauvignon vines. So a Cabernet Sauvignon is a grape or a vine variety. This is very important when it comes to understanding wines and their flavors. Different grape varieties like Chardonnay, Merlot, or Syrah have their own characteristics. They will also need their own special different requirements to produce good grapes. Shiraz and Pinot Noir, for example, prefer different types of soil and climates. This means that good wine tasters will not only be able to tell you what grape was used to make the wines just by experiencing a wine's flavor, but also where the grape was grown because of the effects it has on the wine. Let's stop for a second and look back at what we have learned in this lesson. We have learned that all vines fall under the genus Vitis, and the species of Vitis we are concerned with is Vitis vinifera. All the different grape varieties that are used to make wine come from this species. We now also understand that these different varieties have their own characteristics, and by learning about these different characteristics, we can better know what we are tasting and serving. For the rest of this subject, we are going to look into more detail at the different parts of the grape and how these develop as a grape ripens. Once we understand the different parts of a grape, we can then start to learn about how everything around a vine affects these grapes: the temperature, the weather, soil, and how the vines are looked after.